Hello, today we're going to go into a deep dive into amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS for short. And my name is Mario Solis, and I will be your guide for today. Let's get started. So, what is ALS or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis? It is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects the motor neurons. These neurons control voluntary muscle movements like walking, talking, lifting your arms, riding, and chewing. As these neurons begin to die, the muscles weaken, leading to paralysis and loss of basic functions such as speaking and eventually breathing. Now, this GIF I put in kind of just demonstrates like I wrote right here, the muscle functions like the man's slightly open mouth and no blinking. And sometimes this can become common within patients of ALS. Now let's move on to slide 2. Normal anatomy and physiology, motor neurons are nerve cells located in the brain and spinal cord that control voluntary movement. In a healthy body, these neurons send electrical signals from the brain to muscles, enabling smooth, coordinated actions like walking, turning your head, or speaking clearly. These signals travel through long, insulated axons, which allow for fast and precise communication between the brain and muscles. Understanding this normal function help us see how ALS disrupts the system. So here again, I have these GIFs. I don't know why they're really sped up, but right here, just common jumping jacks. It just provides that muscle, like brain to muscle connection. In unison, arms go up together, and when arms go up, legs come out, and you're jumping. Here, pumping your arms, getting ready to walk. This is a very basic motor function that we learn when we're babies. It's very established amongst all kind of walks of life. I mean, those who have legs, and kind of talking as well. It's really sped up, but you know, in a normal like anatomy and a healthy person before ALS, this is also, I mean, very common and what is expected. Just clear speech, no slurring of the words, no trouble breathing or anything sort of like that. So we're going to go to slide 3 now. So now, motor neuron structure. Motor neurons have a specialized structure designed to send signals and quickly and accurately. These dendrites receive signals from the brain, the soma processes the signal, and the axon carries it down the neuron. The myelin sheath acts like the insulation, boosting signal speed, while the axon terminal connects to the muscle fibers at the neuromuscular junction and telling the muscles when to contract or relax. Here's a quick video demonstration to help visualize. It's this video right here, actually. I'm not too sure if it'll. Oops. Turbo sings, quattro cleans, racing all the way.
The consequences of upper and lower motor neuron damage are distinct. Symptoms of upper motor neuron damage.
Well, I'm not too sure if I go on with the whole video, but basically, this video is just a quick demonstration on the neuroscience of our neural structure. And, they have some good graphs in here. It shows signals shoot down, um, especially along our spinal cord. Yeah, so it sends signals. So now we're just going to go back to here we go. Now slide 4. So now these are abnormalities or just abnormal anatomy with ALS. So motor neurons begin to break down and die, destroying the connection between the brain and muscles. Unhealthy neurons show degeneration, loss of myelin, and muscle denervation, which prevents muscles from contracting normally. This leads to the progressive weakness, loss of movement, and paralysis. So just again, I don't have like a GIF or GIF to show, but this is a very great video. His name is Darren, and I apologize for my mispronunciation. Nakakihara. Um, I found this. I found this video on my own a few weeks back, and I felt like it stood out of most of the videos I see along like YouTube, and it's just like a really great just demonstration of what ALS can do in such a short period of time, just simple as 1 year. So this is Darren right here of May 19th, 2024. And then down here, this is May 19th, 2025. Now, a quick warning, this video is a little harder to watch because it's just a little sad, but here we go.
19th, 2024.
It's May 19th, 2025.
So we can immediately recognize how just even something as slow as speech, and even when he talks, he has more spunk. His neck, he's moving side to side when he talks. Here, you just can see there's so much more pain and exhaustion, and that energy is being exerted behind just something as simple as speech. So we'll just continue.
I'm still able to walk.
I'm in a wheelchair most of the time.
So this is, of course, common because the motor neurons begin to break down and die, which, like I said, destroys the connection between the brain and muscles. So just walking, even stepping, even if he had like a crutch or a cane to help him like maneuver and create some sort of source of living, as one might say. So now he's just in a wheelchair, like you said, most of the time.
I'm still able to talk.
My voice is almost gone.
I get tired really easy,
Man, you think you were tired then?
but I'm still functioning, so I'm gonna keep making these videos.
I am still functioning, and I will still keep making these videos.
It's May 19th.
Yeah, so that's and I believe there's one more video in this PowerPoint I have of Darren Nakakihara, but it's like a great example, and he documents his progress with ALS very, very well. So yeah, that is the first slide. So now we're going to move on to gene mutations and defective proteins in ALS. So there are four main gene mutations linked to familial ALS, which basically is just a fancy word of saying like hereditary, passed down from your offspring to their offspring and so on and so forth. So we have a C9ORF72, which is the most common. It causes abnormal protein accumulation and buildup. SOD1, which is an enzyme that misfolds and damages neurons. The TRDBP, and FUS affect the RNA processing, unlike the mRNA. It's just the RNA processing, which leads to toxic protein buildup. And result of these gene mutations and defective proteins, motor neurons are damaged. This occurs along the signal to muscle weakness and progressive atrophy occur. So it's just, again, just these mutations damage the motor neurons and just weaken the signals to muscles, and just, yeah, it's not a pretty sight. But I also have like a little graph down here to kind of show. I don't believe I can zoom in, but yeah, here just it's a healthy, like right here, mRNA, and then once you get that buildup, like excess protein, just defective proteins also lead to just like the ability of not being able to walk. But also, I have a source down here where I got this information from. So for slide six, etiology. My apologies for the mispronunciation. But the etiology, while the exact cause of ALS isn't fully known, about 85 to 90%, or like 90 to 85% of cases are sporadic, which is a majority of cases. This has no family history, likely caused by environmental and biological factors. So I'll go on in depth about this in the next slide. But approximately 5 to 10% of cases are familial, which is caused by an inherited gene mutation. So this is passed down by, let's say, for example, like your mom or your dad or your grandparents, or you can pass it down to your kids. So this is like hereditary, and could be passed down. Other risk factors include like environmental areas. So, like military service, smoking could lead to it, but it's not, of course, fully unknown. These are just like patterns that they know. It's not, fully able to determine which is which. So now we'll move on to slide 7, which is the pathophysiology of ALS, or just kind of, like the effect or your symptoms, if one might say so. ALS, of course, the motor neurons die, losing their connection to muscles without signals. Muscles weaken and shrink, a process called atrophy. The functional loss affects basic activities like walking, speaking, swallowing, and on a cellular level, protein buildup, oxidative stress, and mitochondrial dysfunction and glutamate toxicity contributes to the neuron degeneration. So, um, like in this GIF or GIF, I have the degeneration of muscle. So just him kind of losing his ability to walk and kind of keep balance. This, even though it doesn't really look like it, I tried looking for an example of breathing or just the complication of breathing, and of course the amyotrophic of the muscle. Yeah, excuse me. So now we'll move on to slide 8, which are the risk factors, signs, and symptoms. So, the risk factors, signs, and symptoms. Common risk factors include being the age from 55 to 75. That's typically when diagnosis or prognosis comes into hand. It's more common in male sex and family history or genetic mutations. Symptoms often start with muscle weakness in the arms or legs or lower extremity or extremities in general, accompanied by muscle twitching. As ALS progresses, people may experience trouble swallowing, loss of voluntary movement, and breathing difficulties. Recognizing these patterns early helps doctors identify ALS and differentiate whether if it's familial or just gene mutation. So here again, just loss of muscle in the legs, and then even his arms trying to stop him from falling, and sadly he hit his head. But of course, these are just some of the symptoms and like risk factors. But again, these aren't like a definitive. These are just some of the patterns that are recognized throughout, studies and surveys that have been taking place. So now for slide 9, inheritance and prevention. So about 5 to 10% of ALS cases are familial, caused by gene mutations like C9OR F72, SOD1, TARDPP, and FUS, which are these right here that I have listed. And inheritance patterns include autosomal dominant, where one copy of the mutated gene is enough, and autosomal recessive, where both copies must be mutated. Currently, there are no known ways to prevent ALS, but early detection can help manage progression and maintain quality of life. And again, I have a source down here, but it is. Excuse me. It is a pretty serious disease to contract, or just kind of, sadly be blessed with. But now we'll move on to slide 10, which is current medical research and advances of ALS, which is a heterogeneous disorder affecting upper and lower motor neurons, and progression can vary between patients. Current research focuses on gene therapy, stem cell treatments, and neuroprotective drugs to slow progression and protect motor neuron. These areas represent the most promising avenues for improving outcomes and quality of life. So, this is just a short slide, but I go into depth with some additional research. So this is slide 11. So additional research shows that this video actually right here, this video highlights recent gene therapy and advances targeting the mutations that damage motor neurons. The therapy aims to slow ALS progression and protect motor neurons. While not a guaranteed cure, they do offer a hope or better outcomes for patients living with ALS. So this video is a little
Let's be
long
honest. There are zillions of things you'd rather do than look for insurance. Like assembly.
for the sorry for the ad, but we'll just here we go. It's just roughly 9 or 10 minutes. This lady or doctor, she goes on just about symptoms, and the leaps in science that have been made to continue with like therapy for ALS. But this is a long video. I will not lie. So we'll skip on to why this research matters. Because no one does research just to do it, just to say you can. But there is always a better outlook for people who have ALS. So why this research matters. ALS research is critical for earlier diagnosis, better treatments, and improved quality of life. It gives scientists a deeper understanding of motor neuron degeneration, allowing for more targeted therapies. Ongoing studies offer hope for slowing disease progression and increasing survival times, which is why continued research is so important. Because with ALS, as shown with Mr. Darren Nakihara, it is very a rapid decrease in, your motor neurons just dying off, and just that muscle to mind connection just sadly deteriorates at an incredible rate. So that's why, this research does matter. And even though it is not much can really be done, the little that is done really does matter. And of course, it gives, people who suffer from ALS a glimmer of hope, because it is which I don't know. Thankfully, I have been blessed with not being diagnosed with ALS, but I'm sure it's rough because you see it in real time, and I'm sure there's day to day differences. But seeing ALS in action, and I did mention about Mr. Darren, which it's another video of his, but this is a 10-month, and I believe it's a different time frame, and you can see it. It's a little tough to watch, but of course with this one, like with Darren, it shows the aggression nature of ALS. Like over a 10-month period, this video will show the progressive muscle atrophy and how gene mutations impact neurons. Like although difficult to watch, I believe this example really does highlight like the human impact and the urgent need for research and therapy. But we'll go to this video. Oh, well, here I believe it is 10 months. Here it is. So again, you can see right here, he is still, this is not him before ALS, but he does have ALS within this August 16th time frame. And at this point, you can see his posture slouched over, just the muscle degeneration or muscle atrophy, just your posterior and just posture as well just kind of deteriorates as well, everything else. But I'm sure he picks up his cup by himself. We'll watch that again. So he picks it up. He's being able to swallow. And you see, just talking is a little more difficult. And then gets up. That looked pretty normal, but just a little slow to get up and move. But in this bottom video that we can see here, he needs the assistance of one loved one or perhaps a therapist. But even just his hands to try to open them, it is a little sad to watch. But just facing down, yeah. But that's 10 months away, roughly, 10 months and some change, or 9 months and some change. But yeah, it is rapid deterioration of muscle. But we'll go down, and that's it for my slide. Here are my references. So the two clips of Darren, and then some of the research and analytical stuff and statistics that I received were here, and a peer-reviewed journal or article I was able to find. And then, but I did this. I had the Association of ALS. There's a lot of good information there, and then also down in this peer review of ALS and the Lancet. But definitely, personally, I'm more of a visual learner, and I do believe this Mr. Kakihira. Um, he does provide very informational videos, and just even though it's sad and hard to watch, it does show and shine light on this very serious disease that it is rough, just yeah. So here's some short videos. They're YouTube shorts, so they roughly last like 45 seconds. I mean, but yeah. So this was my PowerPoint on ALS, and we'll scroll all the way to the title so we can the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. But like again, my name is Mario Solis. I appreciate you putting away the time to watch, and thank you so much.